Hello class. Today we're going to talk about topic 4-3, parallel lines and algebra. This first page we're just going to review what we learned in topic 4-2 and put it in short formats so that we can quickly refer back to it. Now, when we talk about parallel lines and the parallel lines cut by a transversal, we had certain angles that were congruent. Those angles were the corresponding angles, the alternate exterior angles, and the alternate interior angles. The ones that were supplementary were the same side exterior and same side interior. Now I hope that you're noticing a pattern. The alternate angles, those are congruent. The exterior angles were the ones that were supplementary. The only one that's odd is the corresponding angles. And remember, that's the one where they're both the top left, or they're both the top right, or they're both the bottom left, or they're both the bottom right. That would be corresponding angles. And those are also congruent. Now, there was a certain type of angle pair that's congruent. Doesn't matter if the lines are parallel or not. That would be vertical angles. Again, we've talked about vertical angles before. The fact that they're congruent is something that you just need to know. And the ones that are always supplementary are the linear pair. These lines are always supplementary. So these notes we're going to be constantly referring to. Hopefully you're starting to get them memorized. So we need to know what type of angle pair we have and whether they're congruent or supplementary. Notice we've been told that these lines are parallel. So that means that all of our rules hold true. Now 1 and 3. 1 and 3 are corresponding. That's congruent. So they are corresponding angles, and they are congruent. 3 and 6, alternate sides, interior to the parallel lines. Alternate interior or alternate are always congruent. 4 and 5, the alternate sides, exterior. Again, that's congruent. 2 and 3, those are on the same side. They are interior. So those are supplementary. 1 and 6, those are vertical angles. Vertical angles are always congruent. 1 and 4, same side, exterior angles. Those are supplementary. I'm going to just go ahead and abbreviate it this time. Now, example number 1, all we're doing is labeling these. Hopefully, you can do these almost as fast as I just did them myself. You need to get to where you understand the congruent angles and the supplementary angles, and that you just know them. They're going to keep on popping up even after we're done with this particular unit when we're talking about relationships in triangles and quadrilaterals. let's go ahead and take a look at example number 2. Here, we're going to do the algebra part of this lesson. Now, it tells us that these are parallel, which means that all of our rules hold true. Now, look at these two angles that are given to us. Well, they're on opposite sides, interior to the parallel lines. That means that they are alternate interior. Those are congruent. So congruent means that they're the same size. So I know that 2x minus 10 is the same size as 3x minus 40. From here, it's just simple algebra. Negative 10 equals x minus 40. X equals 30. Type of angle pair. We said alternate interior, and x was 30. Now, the algebra portion of this you should already know, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that. If you struggle with that in class, make sure you go ahead and set this up, and I can help talk you through the algebra. Let's go ahead and go over example number 3. Well, these angles are on the same side, but one is exterior and one is interior. So they're not going to be one of our same side angles. So they're not one of our same sides. They happen to be our corresponding angles, which are congruent. So, we know that 4x minus 30 is the same as 2x minus 14. Now, you may want to go ahead and pause the video, solve this on your own, and then come back and see if you've got it right. Okay. Again, we said that these were corresponding first. That's how I knew to set them equal. And the algebra says that x equals 8. On to example number 4. So take a look at these two. They're on the same side and they're both interior. So these are same side interior angles, which we know to be supplementary. What that means is that they add up to 180. So 5x minus 32 plus x plus 8 equals 180. We'll combine similar terms. Move other numbers over. And we get that x equals 34. So we have two types of problems. We have problems where we set them equal because they're congruent. And we have problems where we add them and set them equal to 180. What type of problem is number 6? Now, number 6 looks weird. It appears as though we're missing parts of our lines. So we're going to go ahead and draw the rest of our lines. And our instructions, if you remember at the very beginning, says that L and M are parallel. So we can go ahead and mark these as being parallel. And now we take a look. Well, they're on opposite sides. One is interior, one is exterior. We don't actually have a name for this type of pair. However, we should know that this is a small one, this is a big one. We know that parallel lines hold true, so they're either congruent or supplementary. Since they're obviously different, that means they must be supplementary. So we add these together and set them equal to 180. Combine similar terms. And we solve for x. Now the last example that we'll be working together, example number 7. This time we want to know x and y. So, I'm told parallel lines and parallel lines. Well, let's look at how these are related. 3x deals with this parallel line and this transversal. The other number that deals with this transversal and the opposite parallel line is this. And if I draw it without, those are the lines, I get a picture that looks like this. Well, these are obviously now alternate interior angles, and alternate interior angles are congruent. So that means that they are the same, which simply means that x equals 4. Now if I draw the other set, here I have this angle is 18, and this one is 2y. They're obviously still alternate interior, which means I can set them equal to each other. And then solving becomes trivial. Now, if you've not memorized the information on this first page yet, you need to do so. This information up here is the unit. If you can get this information right here down, then you know the unit. And everything else is just calculation. You'll also need to know this information for when we talk about triangles and then later quadrilaterals. Hope you have a good day.